Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Brand. So nice to see everyone. Today we're going to be talking about owls and learning how to draw owls. Here we have a bunch of different kinds of owls of North America, and we could take a look at all the different types that we have here. I'm going to try to draw a barn owl and a great horned owl over here. You don't really see the horns there, and they're not actually horns, boys and girls, they're just feathers, and they're not even really ears. The ears are actually just inside of their head here, so you don't see the ears sticking up. Let's see, we've got a northern spotted owl here and snowy owl down here. There's so many kinds of owls. Have you guys ever seen an owl on the island? I have seen a great horned owl and I think it was an elf owl or a barred owl. Oh, there it is. I don't see those. I didn't see it. So I have seen some owls here on the island. I love owls. So let's take a look at this one. This is a long-eared owl, even though, again, they aren't his ears. Here is a barn owl. See how it's almost like a heart shape? Like a really softened heart. There's no point really at the bottom. This one looks like a burrowing owl. They make their homes burrowing into the earth. And then this one looks like a great gray owl. See these big discs here on its face? Those are so interesting. And this is a painting of an owl I found I really liked. So what we're going to do is I can attach these How to Draw Owl worksheets to the landing page if you would like to look and print one. I don't really have enough space here to leave it out while I draw, unfortunately. So let's see. We are going to need a pencil, maybe your watercolor pencils with the grays and the browns, or there's no gray, but brown and white and black, and some water if you want to add water to your watercolor pencil, and maybe an eraser. So hopefully your pencil still has an eraser on the end. And I meant to talk to you about that. If you ever can just pull this eraser out of your art kit before you start to draw, then you can save this eraser for little mistakes. This one's for little mistakes, this one's for big mistakes. Because how many times do you end up trying to erase with this tiny eraser and then it's gone? And it's so handy to have it right there when you're drawing. So try to pull this one out for bigger mistakes. Okay, I always like to look at something when I'm drawing. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at a great horned owl. And let's go ahead and try and start. So in your sketchbook, which I forgot to tell you you need your sketchbook. We are going to start by drawing, this is going to be a great horned owl. I'm going to start by drawing a W, a really soft W. And that's going to be his face. And then I'm going to add some eye sockets, or the eyeballs. So it's 2 circles. And I'm going to add a little nose, which is just like, it's almost like you're making a V right here, just a V in between your W. I'll try to make that darker to make sure everyone can see. So W. And now you could either do concentric circles, like a circle inside a circle inside a circle for your owl, or you could do the cat eyes, I call them, which is kind of like an oval with a point at the end. So I'm making long eyes, almost like this type of shape inside the eye. So that's one way to do it. Okay, if it is going to be a great horned owl, we can kind of make some tufts on each side of his head. And now for the body, we're just going to come down with a gentle U shape. And that's his body. Try not to make it too long or it might look a little out of proportion. So I'm coming in with a gentle U. That's pretty easy to do, right? So we have our W to start, and we have this little V right here, that's the nose. We have a circle here, maybe another circle inside, and then either the just another circle for the eyes or this cat eye look. Okay, now for the wings, you could try to make the wings out to the side, like he or she is flying, and you could do a whole bunch of feathers in here. I think I'm just gonna make mine at rest. So my owl is going to just have some wings on the side like so. And they need their talons and they need a tail. Most owls have tails. So the talons are gonna be 2 in the front and 2 in the back. So I'm just kind of making this shape. It could even be like this with a point on the end. And I think I'm gonna try that again. That looks too much like a wrench or something. Let's try this again. And I'm gonna have like a rectangle coming out, and you could even draw a stick or a branch that they'd be resting on. And then I think I'll just wrap it around this branch. Had these talons wrapped. There's 2 in the front and 2 in the back. And they still look like some kind of machinery, but that's okay. Now for the plumage or the feathers, that would be in here. And usually we paint these with tempera paint, and we can kind of layer on the paint. But for this project, we're just gonna be using the watercolor pencils. So I'm gonna get out my black watercolor pencil, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make those eyes so dark and black, but I'm gonna leave a tiny bit white in there. See that? Leave a tiny bit white. It gives the owl a little more personality. And it makes the eyes kind of look a little more 3D. I'm just gonna go ahead and outline to create some emphasis on the lines. Emphasis means to make something important. I'm still struggling with my talons down here. I really don't like the way they look, but maybe you can figure out something that looks a little better. Now, owls are typically brown, gray, black. So, and the males and the females are the same. They're both browns, grays, and blacks. So I'm gonna mix in, I'm gonna use a side of my pencil, I'm gonna just mix some colors. I'm trying to make these look like feathers. So the feathers would be going up and down, up and down, up and down. And then maybe I'll add a little bit of black underneath. Maybe we can kind of create an illusion of layered feathers. And now I don't have any gray, so I'm just using black. You could take your white watercolor pencil and go over it so that it becomes a little more gray. Maybe we'll make the talons orange. And let me color in some of the head. Let me take a look at one of the heads here. Oh, look at all those interesting patterns of colors. Okay, well maybe I'll just do some kind of striping of different, for the feathers up here. Just kind of layering some different colors in. And when I add the water with the watercolor, with the brush, we'll see what happens. It's always a fun experiment to see. Now, often they have golden eyes. So I'm gonna make my eyes yellow. And then the beak basically looks brown on a lot of them, or blackish, so I'll just color it in brown. All right, let's see what happens when I add some water. So I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of water, take a brush, and I'm not putting too much water on because I thought maybe a little bit of a dry brush technique would be nice. So we're not covering this in tons of water. You just need a little bit. And it spreads the watercolor pencils into becoming paint. I put in a little too much right there. See how it's kind of puddling up? It's okay, it'll dry, but you really don't need much water to activate these pencils and turn them into paint. Now, owls are nocturnal, so let's try to put him outside at night. Here's a tip if you want to draw a crescent moon. You draw it like you're almost drawing a circle, but then you stop and make it into a crescent. Because if you think about it, the full moon is waxing. It's becoming bigger and bigger into a circle. So you can start with a circle to make your crescent moon. You could also add stars in the sky. If you did have a crayon, you could go ahead and make some stars in the sky. And that will probably resist the pencil when we go through and color with pencil and then add the water. I think that will end up resisting the paint and staying so that you can see it. Let's see. Color right through. Of course I have to go around my moon because I didn't do that in crayon. Now notice I'm using the side of my pencil. This is the way to do it if you don't want to create a lot of lines if you want everything to smooth together like paint, use the side of the pencil. So you just kind of pick it up as is, and I'm holding it like this. There's other ways to hold it. This makes sense to me. And it also can have it so that you go through your project and cover big areas more quickly. Here's our stick. I'm gonna make the stick a little darker underneath, like the shadows shining on it a little bit from the moon. Okay, let's just add some water to the sky and see what happens now. Yep, those crayons, they kept the stars. So if any of you have crayons at home and want to make stars in the sky, that would be kind of neat. Or you could do the crescent moon also with the crayon, and then you don't have to go around it like I have to kind of go around it carefully. I wasn't that careful, but with the stars, since we did them in crayon, and crayon are made of wax, you can just go right through them. Makes it a little bit easier. Get my branch in here. Oh, I forgot a tail. Okay, so just behind here, you could go and color this in brown. It might even dip below the branch, but that could be the owl's tail. I would maybe have liked to do the same colors, the brown and the black mix. Okay, so here's one owl. Hopefully you guys were able to see how to do that.